parting words for our viewers about tonight or about anything?
Yes, I just love the fact that you have this show, another platform to just get positive things out there. You're doing it, so I know it's
thank you,
positive.
Angela.
That we met because of the positive
That's
things
right.
that you're doing.
Yep.
Paying it forward. He mentors
Yes.
children. I love that about you.
Thank you.
So my parting words are just keep supporting Walter Kirkland.
Did you hear that?
Keep on your gaddy.
And Gloria, why is it a magical moment?
Because we worked so hard to get here.
This guy's about to make history. You know what I mean? He's about to bring the minor football league into the Washington, D.C. area.
Tell them about your business and what you do.
Oh, so basically I'm a network consultant for graphic consulting. I'm the president and the owner. Also the owner for the new NFL football club.
Hey, Alfred, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Man, bless you, brother. Thank you. Alfred with the purple line.
About legacy wealth.
Yes.
Building legacy wealth for ourselves, our families, and our children, our progeny.
Hey, this is Walt Kirkland, another week here. Hey, I'm your host, man. Welcome to Kirkland's Corner. We're going to do it again. Thank you for joining in. We try to make a difference every single week and bring the heat. Our guest for this week, oh man, Mr. Timothy Adams, President and CEO in Applications and Technology Incorporated. From the Prince George's County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Melvin Hyde. Also, Grand Master Dennis Brown will be joining us, and a lot more. Some guy named Jolly? Okay, will be coming up later on. So don't leave us. We'll be right back here on Kirkland's Corner.
Every year, millions of working American families and their children hide their struggle with hunger. It doesn't need to be that way. Hunger hides, but we can help. Let's end hunger in America.
Hey, welcome back. Joining me in the studio, Timothy Adams. How are you, sir?
Good, good.
I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. And congratulations on your success, Timothy. You have done so much with your organization, systems, application, technology. Tell them about how this started with this company.
Well, it's an interesting journey. First, again, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you. I was trying to get you on here, man. Okay.
Yeah, I started out, and I think it goes back to my undergraduate, where I started out in chemistry, realized after I worked a year as a co-op with U.S. Customs as a chemist that I didn't want to be in chemistry.
Out of where?
U.S. Customs.
U.S. Customs.
Yeah.
Very good.
I went to Xavier in New Orleans, got my undergraduate there. So then I decided to go get an MBA. I went to the University of New Orleans, got an MBA, ended up on the West Coast. And because of that science background and that MBA, I got recruited into what was then referred to as the aerospace industry. But really, I was taken under the wing by a lady by the name of Denise Heisler and basically learned weapon systems.
Very good.
Support equipment and those things. And that's where I started my company. I was a little too naive to know that I wasn't supposed to just step out and do that. So out of the trunk of my car, I started SATEC.
But, I mean, how did you do that? I mean, did you have a mentor? What drove you to do that, Tim? That's pretty awesome.
Well, at the time, I was younger then, and I kept trying to get people to hear me, to hear my voice, to do things a certain way, and I sort of became Mr. Fix-It. We would sit and we'd talk about how we would proceed, and then it would be someone else's decision to go a different way, and then when things didn't work out just right, they would say, okay, Tim, go fix it. So then I just decided that I should take the opportunity to just do it right the first time. And so I started SATEC. And that's now 30 years ago.
Tell the viewers, what do you guys do? I know it's war related. What do you guys do?
Well, we basically support the war fighter. We are actually.
What's a war fighter? What is that? For us laymen's, what is that?
Yeah, the war fighter, the soldier.
The soldier.
In combat.
In combat.
That's what we do. So what we do is we do a lot of test and evaluation of weapon systems.
I see.
We do a lot of training, as well as logistics. Our primary focus is the Department of Defense. As I say often, every day I wake up very proud to know that hundreds and hundreds of men and women put on my SATEC badge and go out and do national defense and national security.
So specifically, what products do you make? What type of products do you get involved with? Or is it just defense contracts?
Yes, defense contracts is probably 95% of what we do. And 95% of what we do is in, I guess I could say, a secured environment. So we work on latest and greatest technology. So we're very fortunate to be able to do that.
How have you won these contracts? I mean, what's the game, and how have you done that? I mean, what's your success record? How have you done that?
Well, I think a part of it is that we were able to start out focusing on just our real creative approach to problem solving. One of the things we talk about as a slogan is a better way. And that started off in the beginning. And we're just trying to find a better way to do it, a very competitive way of doing it. I've been very fortunate to surround myself with some of the best technical and managerial talent there is.
Outstanding.
Though we're a smaller company, I would put us up against any company, and we do compete on a large scale against very large companies and have been successful.
Now, you're in the Washington, D.C. area. Do you have other remote sites?
Oh, we're now in about 16 different states. I have offices.
Wonderful.
Yes, our corporate headquarters is right here in Largo, though.
Largo. Yeah, so phenomenal success. Also, just changing gears, you are a big proponent of persons that have disabilities, and you've done some stuff, I guess, with Congress, or?
Yes,
tell us about
fortunate.
that.
Yeah, I had an accident, and I was taking my kids into the museum, slipped and fell on the curb, and woke up the next day a paraplegic.
Are you kidding me?
No, that's how. I wish I had some dramatic.
It wasn't a car accident.
No, that's what happened. And so from that, I had to learn how to deal. Now, I initially thought I understood what it was.
Sure.
For people with disabilities to deal with that, but it helped me. And sometimes I say it was a true blessing, and people don't understand that. They say, "How can that be?" But it gave me such a different vantage point. See, I started to really understand what it was to really understand things that are the letter of the law and things that are the spirit of the law.
Interesting.
And about the human dignity of those who have disabilities. So it's been a good, real learning experience for me to go through that. I had an opportunity to work and to do some speeches with the Justice Department, the Civil Rights Division, talking about people with disabilities and how making access, how it makes sense.
So what are some of the initiatives that you're working on or that you're trying to get going with disabilities?
I continue to try and get people to understand that there's a match, that for most people, once I roll in a room, they forget that I have any disability because we talk business or we talk about what we're going to do.
I give you credit.
The key.
Yeah, you have a persona about you, Mr. Adams, that you don't think about a disability at all.
And that's how it should be. And the other part
that's how it should be, right? Yeah, exactly.
And the other part is really getting people to understand the economic benefit.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, because there is so much money that is available. Let's be very candid. For those in business and other places who open their doors and create opportunities for those with disabilities, we talk about how important it is to have diversity.
Yes.
And sometimes we need to remember that there's inherent diversity that we all know about, gender and racial and all
obvious stuff, yes.
But we also have to talk about that diversity that comes from experience. And that's one of the things that you get with people with disabilities and other people in general. One of the reasons that I understand and want to hire so many veterans is because you have that inherent, but you have that learned.
Traits.
as well.
Yes.
And so when you do that, you get people who have seen places and things and been places that bring that diversity back to your organization as well.
You're making me think of an organization called the ARC. Have you worked with the ARC?
Yes, I have.
I've worked with them on many occasions, and they have disabled folks and have worked and placed them. So there's a lot of stuff out there that we could do to impact society in that regard.
Yes, and one of the things too we've got to go back to is with our young people is about STEM.
What do you mean?
Well, one of the things, I wouldn't be in this industry, I wouldn't have the opportunity to support the organization things I do had I not had a STEM background. Remember, I got recruited because of my STEM background and my MBA.
You did. You sure did.
That's what afforded
right.
me an opportunity to go in and work more on the engineering and logistics side.
Tell the viewers
to
what
learn
STEM
that.
represents.
Science, technology, engineering, and math.
And Mr. Adams, why is that important, you think, in terms of technology and innovation?
Well, I think one of the things we talk about is analytically thinking. We have to have a thought process.
Yes.
We have to teach our kids how to be analytical about how we do things and how we go about things. I often say, the things that are important is you have to be able to think analytically. You have to have resilience.
Ooh, yes.
But also my key point is, but most importantly, you have to have perseverance. And if you apply those three things to anything you do in life,
yes,
it will help you to be successful at it.
Let's segue into mentoring, which is dear to my heart. The founding president of 100 Black Men, and thank you for coming to our brunch. I appreciate your
truly
attendance.
my pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Why do you think, because you're mentoring not only youth but adults too, why do you think mentoring is so important in our community in this Washington region?
Well, I think it's important because, number one, we have to build on what others did for us. We often talk about we stand on the shoulders of giants, but that's real. You see, what we have to understand is I often talk about, and I guess real quickly, is that, there are doors of opportunity that open.
Yes.
But we have to understand that you can't always just keep going through the doors and expect to be able to reach back, because sometimes your reach may not be that long.
Yes.
So I truly believe that as we open doors, we need to hold them open for someone else to come and hold the door so you can move forward, or you let them go
now,
forward.
Mr. Adams, I got to ask you as a black man, as African American, why do we not reach back enough, in my opinion, as African American men? Why don't we reach back enough? Why is that occurring?
Well, I think that's because we've been, I guess, we're so geared to success.
For our own self
For
and
our
entity?
own self, but also we believe that helps our community, and it does. But to really build, we have to look at it from a generational standpoint.
I see.
It isn't just about us, it's about the legacy.
Yes, and how we form the legacy.
Exactly, and so we have to create the opportunities. I am so proud of the people that I've been blessed to be able to mentor. To imagine that some have gone on now, and their businesses, for example, have nationwide footprints. But it's about the young people as well. It's about them seeing us and touching us. We were talking a little earlier, and I said it's not just about stroking a check. Yeah. They have to know that we're real.
We have a saying at the 100, what they see is what they be. What they see is what they be. You are so correct. If you're authentic, Mr. Adams, they'll believe you. If you're not authentic, trust me, they're not going to listen to you.
Yes, and we've still got to do, and a part of that mentoring is to make sure that they understand we're all going to have challenges.
So let's segue into your efforts with the Patriots Technology Center. Tell the viewers about what that organization does with STEM and how you've been involved with that.
Well, I've been a supporter, and Thurman Jones has done a tremendous job.
I know him very well.
Everybody knows Thurman, and he just received an award for that. And the opportunity to work with the kids, to see them. And they have so many different areas that they do, even in supporting the Black Engineers Association and other things. It's just so much. But the thing about Thurman is he continues to try to find ways to stimulate our young people to think and to be engaged. He tries to make the STEM program and learning fun. Mm-hmm. Everything from the races they have when they were building the Legos.
The Legos, yes.
And the submarines to the programming of computer games and all. It's trying to get our young people engaged.
That's awesome.
And again, that goes back to that, helping them to think critically.
Yeah, so let's just, as we close out this segment, what are some of the things that's coming up for your company that you want the viewers to know in terms of some initiatives? back to your company?
Well, I think what we're doing is we're celebrating 30 years this year.
Congratulations.
Yes, and that's significant.
That's very significant.
You know, I don't know that I
wow.
anticipated that we would have survived this long, being very candid. I would not have anticipated that we'd be one of the largest black-owned businesses in the country at this point.
Congratulations.
So again, we're fortunate. What we hope to do, what our real challenge is mentoring. It's about getting more people engaged in business and getting them to understand that you get to choose what you're going to do with your life.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's about that perseverance. And I always go back to that.
Yeah, tell us about that. What's your perspective? How do you define it? And how do you feel about perseverance?
Perseverance is that commitment. Perseverance is about being able to do what you need to do on a daily basis. Perseverance is about understanding that we will be challenged. You know, if from a business perspective, if we could write the rules, we'd all be very successful, but we don't.
Of course.
But life happens. And perseverance is just being able to wake up every morning and get to the business of doing what you have to do.
So I got to ask you, Mr. Adams, who's your mentor? Who is your mentor?
You know, I'm very fortunate. Right now, my biggest mentor right now would be General Arthur Gregg.
Wow, why is that?
You know, General Gregg reminds me often of what it is to be a gentleman, but also what it is to think about others. You know, General Gregg was probably the first three-star general in the U.S. Army.
Absolutely.
And he has helped me to be really remembering to be resilient, remembering to understand that things will change.
Wow. So
you know,
we're going to close this out. I want to thank you and tell the viewers you have a little surprise that just came into your life, your grandchild. Tell them what's your grandchild. You got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I am now a member of the Grandfathers Club. You know, I have my grandson, Nehemiah. My daughter, Tiara, and both are doing fine. I thank you for giving me a chance to say it.
Yeah. So we want to congratulate you on your success. Continue to lead from the front. What I always say to people like you, you're a humble man, Mr. Adams. You have a great company. You're building an incredible legacy. Continue to mentor. And just what are your parting words?
I'm married up.
You married up? And your wife, who's your wife, by the way?
Chief Judge Sheila Tillerson.
And she just got an award.
Yes, she did.
What is that?
She was just awarded because of her service to the community for Women's History Month. So.
Mover and shaker here, Timothy Adams, man.
Hey.
Stay tech, man. Keep it going.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Timothy. Next, we have the one and only Sheriff's Melvin Hyde. Good friend, great person. Coming up on Kirkland's Corner. Sit back. Don't leave. Don't touch that dial.
I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Every day, 7 people die in a home fire. Help the American Red Cross install 100,000 free smoke alarms nationwide. Join us April 27th to May 12th. Volunteer at soundthealarm.org.
Well, Kirkland here at Kirkland's Corner. I'm with a community partner. I've known Melvin for years. Mr. Hyde, how are you, sir?
I'm great.
Yeah, and thank you for what you do in the county. And why is today so important? You know, we're here for this Drive, Focus, Sober, Safe campaign. People should park their phones. Why they're not doing that, Melvin? What is going on?
Well, I think sometimes people just forget and they get in a hurry and they don't focus on significant, important things. And so a part of what today is about is helping people, reminding people that we have to stay focused on the important things, on the things that create safe living within our community. And so that's what it's all about. It's about reminding people that be always conscious of what you're doing, particularly when you get behind the wheel.
And I also think, Mr. Hyde, with the millennials and the Snapchat and Instagram and social media, it really brings on a very dangerous piece, doesn't it?
It does. You know, we get technology, and technology is a good thing, but we have to know its place. And its place is not in use when we're behind the wheel. So we need to set those distractions aside for a moment as we move about our business. And then when we get to a place where we're stopped and calmed, et cetera, we can take those devices and continue our communications.
What is your department doing? Are you going to do any heightened awareness for your department or any initiatives?
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's about our own people. We do a lot of driving. We're all over the county. It's a big county. We every day drive hundreds of miles. And so we always remind our people in our training and throughout the day, the week, the month, the year, to not be distracted when they're going to the various calls that we answer, because we want to get there safely so we can help when we get there.
Thank you, Mr. Hyde. Appreciate you, brother.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
Welcome back to Kirkland's Corner. Sheriff Hyde, how are you, sir?
I am good.
Oh, man.
I'm good.
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for your time this evening. And what are some of and congratulations on your success. We were talking in the green room, and you just, before we get into anything, can you tell the viewers the drop in crime? Can you just give them a high-level number?
Well, let me first say, Mr. Kirkland, it's an honor to be with you this afternoon.
Thank you.
And to share this moment with you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
You know, Prince George's County has made tremendous strides over the last decade or so in terms of crime. And I would say that crime right now, based on the statistical data, is down about 40 to 50 over what it was 40 to 50 years ago.
That's amazing.
And so we made good progress.
Why? What's happening?
Well, I think because we've been very focused. Under the last administration, it continues under the current county executive's administration, where we all work in collaboration and partnership with each other, and we're very focused on specific things. So we're focused on homicides, we're focused on robberies, we're focused on rape, and so we give it its due attention.
I see.
And so that we share that at the highest level, and we push it down in our organization so that every member of our organization is very focused on crime prevention.
You know, the media portrays some negativity, as you know, Sheriff, and right outside of Washington metro area, that is incredible news. So I just want to commend you on your staff and what you're doing. Let's get into your initiatives. What are some of your department initiatives we talked about in the green room that you said your community partnership? Mention some of those things.
Well, I think in terms of on the safety front, we've been very focused on warrant service. So we want to make sure that people who've gone out and done harm or hurt to others, that they're brought to the bar of justice. So we are very focused on the warrant issue. Our top priority is to focus on the violent crime warrants. And then after that, we're focused on our community outreach programs, because we have to have our entire community as a partner if we're going to make sure that Prince George's County continues to.
What does that look
be a
like?
safe
Do you
place.
find community partners and you get them on your team? What does that define that?
And so we have in Prince George's County all the homeowners association, the civic association, the coffee clubs. So their government engages with all of these organizations to pull us all together in one focused effort to address crime, so that we can get on the front side of it and prevent crime before it occurs. We have this concept called PI, and that's prevention, intervention, and enforcement is the acronym of
Prevention,
PI.
intervention, and enforcement.
And so our focus is on the front side, on the prevention side.
I see.
So we have a number of programs. We have a number of outreach programs with all of the organizations that I mentioned, but we're focused on our youth so that our young people see a path forward to adulthood and grow and develop in a good way, so that they're not engaged in crime and violence and all of those things. And so that's something that's made a real difference in our community.
Dear to my heart, you speak of mentoring. Tell the viewers about this program. I think you said it's a middle school program.
It's a middle school program. We have a memorandum of understanding with the school system where we work in the middle schools in a mentoring capacity to help young people grow and develop in a positive way, so that they can then be focused on the learning part of school.
I see.
And so as a result of our mentoring program, we've helped young people improve their grade point average, their attendance, their ability to do well in school and to make great progress, and to be really young people that our entire community can be very proud of.
That's awesome. And you also mentioned a senior citizen program. Mention to them that you mentioned the 911 program.
Absolutely. We have an outreach program to our seniors where, thanks to the various communications organizations, we get cell phones that we can provide to our seniors so that they can dial 911 if the need exists.
That's awesome.
Without any cost to the senior to be able to do that. Some of our seniors, believe it or not, can't afford a phone, et cetera, et cetera. So this program provides them that communications mechanism so that they can reach out to our communications department if they're in need of assistance.
So Chief, tell the viewers, how does that work? So there's an emergency, elderly person falls down. What happens?
Then they simply take that device and hit this emergency button, and it automatically dials 911.
911. And then it goes to your communications director?
It goes to a communications director, and they can dispatch whatever they need, whether it's the police for assistance, or whether it's our fire service, or ambulance service, whatever that need might be.
You also have an entity, you said, field operations. Explain to what that represents.
Well, in the sheriff's office, we have 3 basic bureaus that function and focus on our core service. And the Field Operations Bureau is that enforcement arm in the sheriff's office that ensures that people comply with our various court orders.
Like?
And so when the judge hears a case, and incidentally, I would just say we have about 1,300,000 people come through our courts every year to address various legal issues. Well, when the courts decide an issue and issue a legal order, then we have to make sure people comply with that legal order.
I see.
Others just empty rhetoric.
You said some staggering numbers to me in the green room. Child support. You said you impact how much per year?
Well,
back child support?
We collect about $115 to $116 million every year in child support arrears.
That's incredible.
Right. And that's a great service. You know, when a custodial parent has care of a child, et cetera, they need the resources to help them rear that child in a constructive way. And so part of what we do when the courts issue those orders is to make sure that people comply and provide the resources that their children need.
What can the citizens of Prince George's County do to help you, Sheriff, to impact, the county?
Well, one, they need to absolutely continue to be a good partner with us.
Okay.
And so we all work hard to make sure that those partnerships are cemented and stay intact. So that's the number one thing. And then we need citizens to volunteer.
Yes.
To do various things. For instance, all of our various law enforcement agencies are very focused on this issue of domestic violence. And so we need people to provide various assistance. We have fundraisers, et cetera, so that we have the resources to provide shelter, other kinds of things for people who find themselves in domestic violence. So that's another thing that people can do.
Wonderful. So we're going to close this segment. We got 30 seconds. What are your parting words? Thank you for coming on Kirkland's Corner. What are your parting words?
Well, I just say to the citizens of Prince George's County, thank you for allowing me and all of our government to serve you and continue to stay connected to your government. If you stay connected to our government, we'll continue to serve you, and we'll together be effective in making Prince George's County the absolute greatest place in the world to live.
And you have been an effective leader. I want to shake your hand. You know, you are the consummate professional as I see you out in the community, and I want to just thank you for what you do, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right. All right, so we're going to keep this thing rocking. Thanks for joining us, and we try to, make a difference every single week. And Sheriff Hyde, he's the man of the hour, and I really respect this man to my left. But coming up, the one and only Grandmaster Brown. No, he's not a rapper, not a martial artist. He's a martial artist, instructor. You don't want to miss it. The man with the master plan, Grandmaster Dennis Brown, here on Kirkland's Corner.
I work.
I work, and I want to keep working.
I work for the challenge.
Because people are counting on me
to provide for my family.
And I'm employed today because we work together.
Work together.
Work together. When my life changed in an instant.
When I got hurt.
Needed support.
We made a plan.
So I could come back strong.
So I could stay in the game.
Because we couldn't succeed without her.
It wasn't a matter if I could go back to work.
It was a matter of when and how.
Because working works.
Working works.
It lets me earn a living.
Be there for the team.
Together, we made a plan.
To keep me on the field for 2,632 games in a row.
To keep me working.
America works best when all Americans can work. Ensuring workers can stay on the job or return to work following an injury or illness is essential to America's economy. To learn more, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Our son Arjun was 6 weeks old and already had his first intestinal surgery when he was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. CF is a rare, genetic, life-shortening disease that affects every organ in the body and makes breathing difficult. At age 3.5, Arjun looks completely normal, but on his belly are scars from being in the operating room 9 times, which can be a reminder of our family's daily fight to extend his life. Please help us win this fight. Join families like ours for Great Strides, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation's national walk in support of Arjun and all those living with CF. Every year, thousands of people lace up to raise money and awareness for CF. The CF Foundation has made amazing progress, but until CF stands for Cure Found, for all people with CF, including those like my son Arjun, we will not stop. The biggest reason I stride? Because I want Arjun to live a full and happy life. Visit cff.org and sign up for our Great Strides walk today. Lace up, walk, cure cystic fibrosis.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work.
Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
All right, I'm back here. We're here with the Grandmaster Dennis Brown. Give me some dap there, sir. Watch it. You know, he's a friend. He was at my wedding. This guy is a great person, and I thank you for you being the man of who you are. We were just talking a few minutes ago, and you know, kudos to you, my brother. I appreciate you.
Well, we appreciate what you do.
Thank you. Tell us about, I just saw you this past weekend about this award, which I have to say it's in my name. It was pretty awesome that they put it in. I'm alive. I'm not dead.
Yeah.
The Walter Kirkland Health and Wellness Award. It was an honor to give that to you. How did that make you feel? I mean, obviously you got a little emotional.
Well, yeah, I got a little emotional up there because, number one, the program that you guys were doing,
Yes.
the mentoring that you guys do, a lot of people don't know my whole story. The whole Grandmaster Dennis Brown, you know, the whole movie thing and all like that.
Yeah.
But I came from very humble beginnings.
Elaborate.
And I explained to them that I looked at those young men up there and I saw myself. Because I came up with a single mom over in Northeast D.C.
Okay.
You know, rough neighborhood.
Wow.
No mom.
No dad.
My brothers all ended up in trouble on drugs
man.
and alcohol and not. But I never ended up in that because one guy made a difference. So.
What did he do?
You know, he was something called a Civil Air Patrol.
What is that?
It was kind of like Boy Scouts for Air Force.
Oh, okay.
And some kind of way he convinced these little hoodlum guys in my little Trinidad
Hoodlums,
Avenue
huh?
area that we wanted to drill. And he would pick us up and work with us on discipline and focus and concentration.
That's awesome.
He would talk to us about school, take us places, and I didn't know what it was then. You know, he took me to the Air Force Academy when I was just a young kid,
Very
first
nice.
time on a plane. And most of my life, I look back and I know that a lot of the values that I still use today came from that one
That is
guy,
amazing.
So when I saw these guys and the mentorship that was going on with 100, it just reminded me, it brought it all back for me.
Well, it's a big deal because, you're not only a sensation, you're international. And this is why we bestowed this award on you. Why don't we just segue into kind of what's going on? You have this, which I've been involved with you for years, your international competition. And tell the viewers of what this symbolizes. It's coming up in August when?
It's August the 9th and 10th at the National Harbor down at the Gaylord. Yeah.
What is this event and what does it entail? And
well, I started out as a martial artist way back in '64, never thinking I was going to do anything but try to emulate Bruce Lee like everybody else.
Yeah, I did too.
And somewhere around 1982, when Nixon went over and opened up the China deal there, the first thing they did was exchange athletes. They sent a bunch of their kung fu guys to the Kennedy Center.
I didn't know that.
I went down and saw them. They came back in '78. And right around 1982, they decided we were going to exchange, and they were going to send 5 folks to China. And I was one of the 5 to go in 1982.
That's awesome.
And so in China, they have me listed as the first African American to ever train in martial arts in China. And the first one, if you go to the Shaolin Temple, they say Dennis Brown was the first black man to train at the Shaolin Temple.
What an honor.
So it opened up a lot of doors for me, and I've tried to take that and use it in a positive way, not just about kicking and punching.
Tell the viewers, you have this saying, I've been to this man's ceremony. There's a saying you say with the kids when you kick off the ceremony. You know what I'm going to say. What's that saying, remember? You don't mentor. What do you say? You said something.
I stopped teaching martial arts 25, 30 years ago, and people say that's crazy because you're Grandmaster Dennis Brown and you've been all over the world. And I'm in the character development business.
I love that.
I'm in the character development business because real martial arts, I don't get me wrong, I like the fighting and the kicking and the punching, and you've got to be able to defend yourself.
Yes.
But if you're not teaching them to be better people, if you're not teaching them listening skills and focusing skills and concentration, if you're not teaching them pride, those are the things that martial arts, for me, is really all about. They'll listen to us when they won't listen to anybody else because they think he's somewhere between Bruce Lee and Jet Li. So when Master Brown speaks, so why not use that for something positive? I was so moved at the event when I had a couple of the kids that got up and spoke, and they were talking about their 4-point averages and this like this. And one little kid said, yes, and I trained with Grandmaster Dennis Brown. And I just sat up a little straight in my chair like that's
Well, Master Brown, I mean, you know this. You've impacted we've had this discussion, probably over 35,000 youth, if not more, in the last 50 years, correct?
Yeah, probably close to 100,000 at this point because I have a lot of students that are teaching and making a difference. And the thing for me is that because I give the big tournament, and I have people come in from all over the world for the competition, and that's one of the things that I do. But I really think that I'm an educator.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know you can't even go up for your black belt or your gold belt or anything at my school unless you maintain a B average or better in school.
Good for you.
Because I tell them, isn't that self-defense? Self-defense is anything, and we talked about it, for me, that defends oneself. If you can't eat right, if you don't know how to, if you're not doing well in school and you can't get a job, or you don't know how to interact with people, how is that self-defense? So you can beat up everybody, but you as a person.
And Master Brown, at your ceremony, you had grown men, children crying. Why do they cry when they get in front of their peer group? What is that all about?
Well, the young gentleman that kind of did my thing and broke down, he came in because he was in trouble. He'd been kicked out of a bunch of schools because he was a fighter, and he was always angry, and he was this, and his grandmother said we had our wits end. We don't know what else we're going to do with him. I was able to look at him and say, so you like to fight, huh? He goes, yes. Well, you're in the right place. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But let me tell you it has to be on top of that. And now that young man who everybody had given up on, you saw him stand up. He finally went up for his black belt and he broke down. And it always, that inspires me to work harder.
We're going to have to get you back. We're running out of time. We got a minute to go. Go back to your event that's coming up August
August 9th and 10th at the National Harbor. It's the third largest martial arts event in the country, and I should say that it's a national North American Sports Karate. In 1982, I was the first African American black to actually run a national event.
And drum roll.
37 years later,
you got ESPN talking, right? Come on now.
We're talking to them.
That's huge.
Talking to them.
So you're going to be on ESPN.
Well, we're negotiating, and I love it. And we're going to try to bring it right here to Prince George's County.
You so deserve it.
Yes,
you
sir.
grind. You've been doing this so many years. You're unstoppable. I've seen you lose your voice. You're just a beast. I mean, and you're just loved by everyone, by moms, dads, children. You have legacy. You have what do you call them? Shufus? What do you call them?
Shufus.
Shufus. You have them 40, 50, 60 years old, right?
At the event, there was a bunch of gray-haired guys.
I saw that, man.
All of them got gray hair, and they all started with me as teenagers, and
That is amazing.
They're still out there making a difference.
Yeah. So let's just close this out. We got about 30 seconds. What are your parting words as it relates to Dennis Brown or anything? Got 30 seconds.
Well, you know, all I want people to do is understand that martial arts is something that can make a difference in youngsters' life. It's not just about fighting. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to bring them in. Come on by and see these kids speak. See the changes that it makes in their life. And if you're just about knocking folks out, you're in the wrong business.
All right. Well, we want to thank you, Master Brown. You're a friend. You're a legend, international legend. What I love about this dude to my left is that he stays humble. He's just an amazing individual. So thank you for being who you are. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for all the work you've done.
You're welcome. All right, coming up, are you ready to get motivated? Are you ready to make some noise and get excited? Willie Jolly's in the house, y'all. You know Willie Jolly, right? We are fired up, and we're ready to go here on Kirkland's Corner. Don't leave. Don't change that dial.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Okay, here we go, throw it. Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Hey, Walt Kirkland here, Kirkland's Corner, also the 100 Black Men. I want you to meet this man to my right. Willie Jolly is a friend, community person, community leader. He is, tell him what you do, man.
Well, I try and change people's lives by changing their thinking and their attitude. So I write books and I do Sirius XM radio and daily radio, as well as try and encourage companies around the world to do more, be more, and achieve more. And I'm grateful to have you as a friend and to support 100 Black Men of Prince George's County. I've spoken for 100 Black Men groups all over the country, and I've had the opportunity to have my my youth video, the one I did for PBS, to be part of their encouraging the young men that there was great possibilities for their future. So I'm just grateful to be here to support and be a part of the celebration that this is going to be a great year, and we're going to have even greater impact in the future.
Why do you think mentoring is so important with the black youth, and not only in Prince George's County, but Willie, but across the country?
Well, one of the things I've told audiences is there are two ways to reach any goal: mentors and mistakes. both will get you there. One just gets you there with less headaches, heartaches, and knots upside your head. What we found is the fact that we got a lot of young men who don't have mentors in the house. They don't have fathers in the home. And so they don't know which way to go. So what are their choices? They make mistakes. They end up in a juvenile system, or they end in an adjudication system. What we want to do is mentor them so that they don't have to make that mistake, that we can direct them to success, where they got to go, what they want to do, how to get an education, how to create economic viability, and then how to be good dads, be good husbands, be good community-involved persons. So that's what we want to do, and they need mentors. And if we don't show them, who's going to show them? No one's going to come from the outside and try and teach our boys. So that's why it's important, and our girls, but mentors, how to create great leaders for the future.
That's Willie Jolly, entertainer, motivational speaker. Thank you, brother.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
We're back with my good friend over here, Willie Jolly. How you doing there, sir?
My brother.
My brother. This guy lights up the studio, man. You know what? You are an animal, Willie. So, how did you get into this public speaking thing, man?
Well, I am very grateful first to be here with you.
Oh, thank you.
And anybody knows me knows I always start the same way. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but an eternity is in it. And so I'm grateful for this minute. That's God's minute from Dr. Benjamin Mays.
Yes.
And it has inspired me since I started speaking over 25 years ago. I started speaking because I was a nightclub singer who did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? You've heard my voice on Pizza Hut, making it great. We work well together. News 4 and you. BET, Black Entertainment TV, or the one that people in this county.
I just learned something. I didn't know that.
In this county know it's happening. Iverson is happening. Iverson Mall, the happening place. So I sang jingles and I sang in nightclubs. But one day I went in the nightclub, the club owner said, we made a change. We found something cheaper than the band. It's a lot cheaper. I said, what about my bills? They said, we got a karaoke machine. They said, I realized that night nobody really cares about your bills, but you and the people you owe.
Absolutely.
And it was in that night that I had to make a decision.
You got an epiphany. Bam.
Boom. I got to decide whether I keep going and trying to live somebody else's dream or live my dream. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew there was something that I wanted to do to inspire others. I just didn't know how to put it all together. And from that, I took a job with the school system, started speaking to kids. From the little kids, the teachers would invite me to teach for their groups, speak for their groups, and then it continued to grow. Then Les Brown heard about this guy who was a speaker and a singer, and he invited me to be on the Music and Motivation Dream Team tour, which was Les Brown, Billy Preston, Gladys Knight, and this little guy, Washington, D.C.
Okay, I see such a blind man.
There you go. And then from that, I got a look. Gladys introduced me to some radio people.
Wonderful.
I got a radio show, got popular. You've heard me on WHUR for over 15 years.
Absolutely.
And then that led to Sirius XM, where we are excited that now we have the #1 self-help show in the country on Sirius XM.
That's awesome.
And that led to the books. And all of that happened. And then in 1999, I was blessed by Toastmasters to be named one of the top 5 speakers in the world, and then inducted in the Speaker Hall of Fame in 2005, named a legend of the speaking industry, all because I had a setback. And a setback is nothing but a setup for a comeback. And many people know I wrote the book, A Setback Setup for a Comeback, and I try and encourage people that you might be going through a tough time. Some of the people who are watching today, they have been going through what I call the devastating D's of life. They are downsized. They had a diagnosis. They went through a divorce. They had a disease. They had a disaster. Or they had the death of a loved one. They're just broken, not sure how to go. And I'm here to say to the world that you can turn this setback into a comeback. You're looking at a guy who was not the brightest bulb on the pack. I was the half of the class in high school who made the top half possible.
I hear you, Willie. I hear you.
So what I was able to do, though, was show that people that you don't have to be the brightest bulb. You just have to have faith.
Yes.
I've got great faith. You have to have a focus that says, I've got a clear vision of my future. Scripture says, without a vision, a people perish. But with a vision, a people will flourish. So clarity in your vision, faith, and a willingness to fight. Wow. And I get up and fight every day. There's a sign on my desk in my office. Life is a fight for territory. When you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want automatically takes over.
So Willie, I mean, this is great. So who's your mentor?
You know I will take over the show.
I know you will. I know you will. So I got to intervene because you're going to take over my show.
I'll
hate when that happens. so Willie, who is your mentor?
Les Brown is a mentor.
Okay.
General Colin Powell is a mentor.
Colin Powell, oh my goodness.
I've got a number of mentors. I have mentors in different segments of my life. And when I started speaking, I kept saying, I've got to get a plan.
I see.
Okay. What I learned, Walter, is that I needed multiple plans. I needed a life plan. I needed a business plan. I needed a family plan. I needed a financial plan. And once I learned that, I started getting mentors in each segment of that. So, okay, I'm going to take a moment to tell people one of the things we're excited about now is these two projects, my latest new projects. Okay. This is my marriage book that my wife Dee and I wrote.
Oh, I know Dee very well. Yep.
We've been married for 34 years. Haven't had an argument in 30 years. And
come on.
Haven't had an argument in 30 years.
Come on, Willie.
Well,
you're pulling my leg.
I ain't pulling your leg. Now, here's the thing. Someone asked on TV, they said, you've never had an argument? I said, we haven't had an argument in 30 years. Those first couple of years were like World War III. But we got some mentors. Marriage mentors who taught us how to stay married. The book is called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last.
I like it.
And we talk about the big three things that break up marriages: sex, money, and communication. So what we do in this, we got some mentors, and they taught us how to be successful. This book, Attitude of Excellence, is about how do you build your success. My mentor in this one was Dr. Stephen Covey, who wrote the foreword, and Alan Mulally from Ford Motor Company, who in this book talks about the work I did with Ford in 2006, 2007, 2008. They were able to reject a government bailout and go from losing $1 million a month to making $1 billion. And then how do you build not just your company, but build yourself? So there are mentors in here that helped me. So I got mentors in every part. Let me say this again. You heard it on the earlier part. 2 ways to get to any goal: mentors and mistakes. You have to choose which one you're going to go with. I choose mentors. I can look at other people's mistakes and realize I don't have to make the same mistakes, and they can tell me. So I get mentors, I get coaches, and I coach people on how to avoid the mistakes that they might be down the path on the way to. So first I want to give people a free chapter from each one of these books. Go to jollymarriage.com.
Jollymarriage.com.
Get a free chapter that will help your marriage. And then go to attitudeofexcellence.com. Get a free chapter. And every Monday night now, we do a free show on Facebook. Me and Dee
Facebook Live.
Happily Married Monday with the Jollies.
Oh, there you
9
go.
o'clock.
9
We
o'clock.
talk about the issues that people are struggling with their marriages.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So I'm here to inspire people. Last thing I'm very excited about. The last thing. Many people know I'm a man of faith. A few years ago, I went back and got my doctorate, a doctorate of ministry. And I had been wondering, what am I going to do next, God? What's my next thing? And now we've created jollygoodnews.org. And Jolly Good News will appeal to you because it has a couple of interesting dynamics. First thing we want to do is get my book, A Setback, Set Up for a Comeback, into every prison in America.
Oh, good for you.
So we can encourage prisoners that their past does not determine their future. Second, we want to get my PBS special that we did for young people in every school so we can keep young folks from going to prison in the first place. And then we want to inspire generations yet unborn that their best is yet to come.
Good for
Even
you.
ones who ain't here yet, that the best is yet to come.
That's awesome.
And so then they come, they won't be downtrodden, they won't be depressed, they won't be discouraged by the vicissitudes of life, that they'll start to say, maybe.
So when you do have a setback, Willie, I know you've had your books and stuff. What do you do? I mean, do you fall back on these principles? Things just go wrong? Because we're all human.
We go, things go south every day.
Some days are like, what is happening here?
Every day.
I call it, Willie, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, the bad, every day.
It's going to be something. But
so how do you deal with that?
Well, here's how I do it. First of all, when I wake up every morning, I have a program, a process. I wake up, I give God glory for thanking me.
That's the first thing you do?
Oh, man, out the bed.
What I'm talking about.
Thank you. I got another shot. Now, I know
got another shot,
I got another shot. Okay, first thing I give God glory. Second thing I do is I take time to read some scripture to encourage me, and I listen to something positive in the morning, every morning, because your day is a blank sheet. You've got to fill yourself up with the pure, the powerful, and the positive. If you don't fill yourself with the good, you're going to hear how many people got killed, how many fires there were, how many little children. And then I go out every day and I say good morning to at least 10 people.
You make a purpose to do that.
Every day.
That's fascinating.
Now, let me tell you why, though.
I love it.
All right, I go, good morning, good morning. Now, some of the people go.
What if they don't reply?
Most don't reply. Some say, what's good about it?
Yeah, I know, right?
Why you say that?
Why are you so happy today?
Yeah, right. Let me tell you why. I do it because I'm not saying it for them. I'm saying it for me.
Saying it for you.
Faith cometh by hearing. And the more I hear good morning, I'm on my way to a good morning. I have a good morning, I'm on my way to a good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, I'm on my way to a good day. You start speaking into your life what you want. And my days get better every day because I speak into my life. I speak about my finances. I speak about my wife. I love my bride. I speak about my children, even when they mess up. And I got children who have messed up, but I keep speaking. So I'm encouraging you to pray. I'm encourage you to plan, and then I'm encourage you to process positive in your life. It changed my life from a broke, busted nightclub singer to being one of the top speakers in the world, according to Toastmasters.
That's awesome.
And I want others to live their dreams. But you got to fill yourself up with the pure, the powerful, and the positive. That's why I read something. Get a habit of reading more positive books. Average American, Walter, never reads another self-help book after their last year of formal education. Yet,
I think you're right.
Yet most millionaires are reading a book a month or a book a week. If you really want to change your income, change your input, because input determines output. Come on, somebody.
You know, you're right.
Come on, somebody. Am I right about it?
Yeah, feed your mind. Come on, man.
Feed your mind, and it will
feed your body. Feed your mind.
If you ever go into a $10 million home, it always has a library.
Yes,
now,
it
the
does.
person who bought the $10 million home, did they buy it because it had a library, or did their library allow them to buy it?
Hello.
What's in your library?
Yes.
And what are you reading? What are you listening to? You got to guard your ear gates, your eye gates, your heart gate. I'm very careful who I hang out with. I'm very careful what I listen to.
So I'm curious, you got me thinking. So is your circle getting smaller, Willie, the older you get, or do you use your inner circle? How does that work with you?
My inner circle is getting larger.
It's getting larger.
Yeah, but only of high consciousness
caliber,
people.
conscious people.
Only high conscious people. Many people who I grew up with, I had lots of friends when I was growing up, but many of them had such a negative perspective about life.
I find my circle getting smaller because there's so much negativity.
Well, you know what I find, but you got to go to where the positive people hang out.
Where they hang out.
Go to hang out with I go where the billionaires, millionaires hang out. Here's what I've learned. That they're some of the most giving people. You know, you hear people say that these people are
selfish and all that. They're not, right?
These are they're philanthropists. They're philanthropists, by its definition, a friend of man. Philanthropist, philosophy, Philadelphia, there's a friend of man. And they give with no expectation of anything in return. And that's why I was impressed about coming to the 100
Black Man's Brunch.
Thank
you, yeah.
Because when you invited me, I didn't think I was going to be able to come.
I know, when I got the call, I was like, oh man, it was refreshing.
Yeah, and so I had the opening, something change. I said, I'm going, and I love how y'all sponsor and mentor these young kids to encourage them to become excellent students. So excellence must not be a once in a while thing. It must become a habit.
Yes.
Because see, you have to watch your words. Your words become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your actions. Your actions become your destiny.
Right.
I have to watch what I think, what I speak, what I work on. And I have to watch who I hang around with. I started expanding my network to high conscious people. Not all of them are wealthy, but they think different.
So, Willie, we got 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Man, this goes so fast. You got to come back because you have so much to say.
I got a lot of stuff.
You got a lot to say.
A couple of things.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Go ahead.
Sirius XM, channel 141, Saturdays, 4 o'clock, where you get the best and the brightest, whether it's Les Brown, General Colin Powell, Gladys Knight. But you can't get Sirius XM. You say, I ain't got it. Go to Willie Jolly Podcast on iHeartRadio, C-Suite Radio, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Spotify, Willie Jolly Podcast. And go to jollymarriage.com, get the free chapter, and attitudeofexcellence.com to get the free chapter, and then go to williejolly.com/gift. williejolly.com/gift. I got stuff that will help you grow your thinking.
All right.
The best is yet to come. Come on, somebody.
Man, this brother right here,
Come on, we is in it like that. We are in it like that. We are in it like that. This is my man, Walter Kirkland, of the Walter Kirkland Corner. You better tune in, and stay connected to this brother every week, because he bring the best. He bring the fire.
Oh my God. Willie Johnny's in the house. It's been a pleasure. He rocked the house, man. Kirkland's Corner, man. What can I say? Willie, I love you, man. I love you, man. All right. Well, thanks again for joining Kirkland's Corner. The energy has changed in this room. We go from business, we go from the martial artists to all this Willie Jolly stuff. And man, I tell you, everyone, there's setbacks and no setbacks. Bring them back to comebacks with the man Willie Jolly. So, hey, great show. Every week I'm excited about this. We try to bring the heat every week. We try to bring excitement, make a difference in the community. This is Walt Kirkland. For now, enjoy your week. Find someone to mentor. We'll see you next week. This is Walt Kirkland.